If you're being ignored, breadcrumbed, or a guy's playing hot and cold with you, in this video, I'm going to show you 7 immediate, worthy, and empowering ways to stop feeling invisible, reclaim your power, and be valued by men without losing your dignity or your cool. By the time it's all said and done, he won't even know what hit him. The first thing I'd like to acknowledge if you're watching this video is the cycle of madness that happens when you fall for someone who's doing weird things with your psyche. And by that, I mean someone who shows up really strong, really validating, really emotionally connected, or supposedly emotionally connected, and then he does a 180 and starts being weird, starts backpedaling, starts breadcrumbing you, starts playing hot and cold, and you're hooked. And by the time you're hooked and you're trying to avoid the situation, there's a part of you that says, I will massively miss out. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If I let this guy go, I'm not sure when the next one will come, so you stay in the game. And when you stay in the game, the longer you stay, typically, the lower your self-worth, the more the feeling of madness that starts playing in your mind. Because the cycle of madness that I described has 2 different aspects, and they're polar opposites. On one side, you feel sad and anxious. On the other side, you feel really pissed. Why? Not just with the guy, because he's basically trying to play tricks on you. Before I share with you the 7 bold steps, I want to share with you why this is happening. The first reason and most important one why this is happening is because you're overvaluing something that is not worth overvaluing. And that is the initial allure, mystique, excitement, spark, boldness, this feeling of I've known this guy for 7 lifetimes. He has this thing that I can't even describe, this je ne sais quoi. And when you tell yourself that, and you don't even know what that thing is, that thing might be a trauma bond. That thing might be something that's not good for you, but you keep thinking that it's so special and unique, and it creates a spike in your hormones, and it's almost like it creates a little bit of an addiction. So when you find that level of connection with someone, you tend to overvalue things that have not been proven to make a relationship last. Second reason why you're in this situation right now is because you're projecting and you're fantasizing. There's a part of you that's saying, if this guy just fill in the blank, spends a little more time getting to know me, or once I really show him the awesomeness of who I am, he will change. Or when he finishes this project that's so pressing at work, he'll be able to prioritize me. I'm not saying that those things never happen, but I'm saying to you right now, this has been a pattern. This guy just recently met. Chances are that might be his thing. He might have been doing a project that's so busy previously and will be doing one afterwards. So this is just the temporary state of how he acts and how he operates. But so long as you tell yourself that he's so special and unique, then you might be stuck in this dilemma. Now, how do you actually change this? I'm going to give you 7 steps. The first one is I need you to be radically honest with yourself. But, and it's a huge but, do it with compassion. The way you would, if you have a child, you know what that's like. If you don't have a child, imagine you have a child, or if you have a nephew or a niece, imagine that they make a mistake. And instead of slapping them in the head, which you probably never do, you basically say, hey, let me show you how you can do this better. I want you to have that same kindness, compassionate approach with yourself. Because if you don't, then the emotional state of just beating yourself up will create a sense of shame and embarrassment, and then we'll just be repeating the same thing again and again. Now, the reality check part of this whole thing means be honest with yourself. Ask yourself this one question. How do I consistently, the key word here is consistently, feel about myself as a result of this person being in my life? Notice I didn't ask you, how do I feel when I see him? Because you might see him, and when you see him, it's great. But when you don't, when he doesn't show up, when he plays games, you don't feel great about yourself. So overall, the act of this human being being in your life consistently, how do you feel about that? If the answer is, I don't feel great, I feel less worthy, I feel less assured of myself, I feel less certain, I am more dispersed and I can't really focus, not in a good way when you're really falling for someone, but because you're feeling anxious, because the guy isn't really showing you consistency and sustainability in the way he's showing up, then that's your reality check. Step number 2 is I need you to raise your standards for what you expect to receive in a man. And here's what I mean by that. I want you to create a goal that is a little bit scary for you, not a little bit better than what you have right now, because that will not be motivating enough for you to let go of this thing that you feel attached to. You need to create something that scares you a little bit in terms of the level of connection you want to have, in terms of the level of passion, the level of sustainability, the level of friendship, long term, not just for the moment. I need you to raise your standards in terms of what you expect, how you want a guy to show up, how you want to show up for yourself. And here's the question that's going to help you do it. The question is, if I knew how to create this relationship, what would I go for? Because here's the thing. I want you to avoid going for what you think you can get. If you haven't yet practiced the art of creating the connection that you want, you haven't learned the skills, then you may not be able to get it just yet. You can learn it, but you cannot learn it. You won't have the juice that's necessary for you to learn those steps if you don't create something bigger than what you're facing right now. Third step is I want you to find your Kryptonite trigger. Remember Superman? Kryptonite was a thing that made him just feel weak in an instant. Well, what is that thing? What is that trigger right now for you that's making you give this guy a giant hall pass that you wouldn't give anyone else? Because think about it this way. If a guy that you weren't excited about showed up and were acting the way this guy's acting, you'd basically throw him to the curb in 5 seconds. But for some reason, there is one story you keep telling yourself as to why this guy deserves another opportunity and another hall pass. I need you to write it down. What is the kryptonite? Maybe it's the way he looks. Maybe it's his level of success in life that you keep telling yourself, I found a quality guy and he's so special and unique. What is it that's allowing you to lower your worth as a result of connecting with them? Step number 4 is I want you to create a side-by-side reality check. If you really do this, I think this can make a huge difference today. You don't have to wait months or years to have this happen. If you right now say, here's the trigger right now, and the trigger might be, I tell myself that this guy is my lover from another life, or when he connects with me, he's so special. Whatever it is that you're telling yourself in that moment, that's your trigger that's allowing you to stay in this game. I need you to have everything else you want side by side with it, meaning a long-term relationship with not just passion, but with deep friendship, with a feeling of commitment to each other, traveling together, spending years doing fun things, being supportive of each other, holding hands while life is challenging, while life is fun. Look at that image of what life could be like. And then on the other side, look at this guy and look at this one thing you're telling yourself and ask yourself the question, is it worth it? Is it worth risking everything that I want here for this one trait that I keep telling myself is so important and that I can't have from somebody else? At some level, you bought into a lie. And the lie is that no one else in the world can give you what he's giving you. And I'm telling you right now, even though human beings are irreplaceable, there is another human being who can show up with excitement, with passion, with curiosity, with hunger, and who can also show up in a way that allows you to feel better about yourself. Now, before I share my last 3 steps with you, if you're a single woman watching this, I'd be willing to bet you're not fully aware or aware at all of the real root cause where you're still single. And what I've done is I've taken 13 years of helping women in every walk of life, every kind of love challenge you can imagine, to help them to create the connection they want. And these are marriages and life partnerships that stand the test of time. And I've taken the learnings from all those steps and put together a quiz you can take in about 60 seconds that will reveal to you the number 1 reason you're still single. If you want to participate, all you have to do is go to the first thing in the description. You will see a page that looks like this, answer a few simple questions, and within 60 seconds, you'll have 2 things. The answer to the elusive question why you're still single, and then a custom report that's going to share, based on your specific blind spot, what is the number 1 thing you can do starting today to attract the guy you want in a small fraction of the time. Step number 5, and here's where it's going to get juicy. I need you to start feeling the void that you'll start feeling when you start taking your power back with alchemy. Why? Because you were feeling the void of certain things that are missing in your life through the connection with this person. You're overvaluing him, putting him in a pedestal, giving him more power than he deserves in your life. Instead of doing the things that make you feel alive and connected, you're hoping for this guy to do it for you. I'm not saying that a relationship can give you some excitement, but I'm saying to you right now that you have to start with yourself. So when I say fill the void with alchemy, I mean do anything and everything that will allow you to feel connected, to feel happy, to feel alive, to feel radiant, to feel empowered, to feel like you are back to yourself. That might mean more exercise. That might mean meditation. That might mean cold plunging. That might mean taking a new class of something that allows you to connect with other human beings who show you respect and show you excitement. That might mean writing or journaling. That might mean listening to poetry, or it might mean all of the above. When you take the visceral steps of doing things that you may not want to do, but bring you back to the embodiment, the feeling, I'm back in myself and I know what I'm worth. Those steps will allow you from that emotional state to make the next steps a reality. Step number 6 is to decide that you want more, decide that you're going to set a boundary, decide that you're not going to let this guy continue getting hall pass after hall pass. And why is this important? Because life really changes in one instant. The instant you make the decision that something needs to change. So that decision might mean saying, hey, I've noticed that you are showing up in a way that's inconsistent with the way you're showing up before and also with what I'm looking for in a guy. I'm not putting pressure on you to do the things differently. I'm saying to you right now that I really can't do it this way. And It might be a situation where you ask him to change things if he's willing to change them, or it might be a situation, depending on what's happening, where the only thing he needs to hear is saying, you know what, I'm going to remove myself from this equation. It might be a situation where you might have become exclusive with someone too early and you need to reel it back and say, you know what, right now, I may be willing to date you, but I cannot be exclusive with you. And here's what I need to go forward. And that might also mean, if you're already having sex with a dude, that you step it back and you stop having sex until you connect with him in a way that's committed, so that you're not feeling more attached to him than you need to. You take control of how you want to handle this. There's no rule in terms of how this must happen. The only thing that's important for you right now is to recognize that something can change. You can ask for more, you can ask for change, you can take exclusivity back into non-exclusivity, or you can simply say, you know what, I'm willing to walk away from this situation because we have different goals and different visions. And as much as I'm gonna miss you, I love myself enough to be able to move forward and find what I really want. Now, am I saying it's easy? It's not easy, but here's what step number 7 is. Take your power back. That means that if you make that decision, you're going to learn more skills. You're not going to leave it up to chance. I have hundreds of videos in this channel if you want to learn more skills as to how you can create the connection that you want that can help you. But you're going to take your life into your own hands, and you're not going to be at the mercy of someone who may or may not want you, may or may not like you. You're going to decide that you are going to create a connection with someone based on the way he shows up, the way he connects with you, the way you consistently feel about yourself when you're with him, and not just based on some hunch or some excitement or some illusory, mysterious power that you haven't fully explored. Hope this is helpful and useful, and if it is, it means the world to me and my channel, because this is how I can grow and reach more women. If you click like and subscribe, if you'd like to continue learning how you can attract the guy you want without the need for gimmicks, manipulation, games, or stupid techniques, make sure to watch the next video right here.